This is the return of the KoperCrabb Podcast.
We are back. I'm Cheney Crab.
I'm Naveen Copperweiss.
If you would like to buy podcast merch, hit us up at Big Cartel. Wait, oh my God, what is it? Harrison, figure it out for us. Oh my gosh, my memory is gone.
Link in the description.
Link in the description.
Official.bigcartel.com.
No, KoperCrabb.
KoperCrabb.bigcartel.com.
Okay, if you want podcast merch, go to KoperCrabb.bigcartel.com. And if you would like Entheos merch, go to www.entheosstore.com. So we're going to be putting all of our leftover tour merch up in the store on Friday. I think we're going to put it up at noon Central Standard Time. I won't post anything about it on any of our pages until about 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, of course, the Golden Lobsters, all of you who listen to the podcast will get a chance to grab things because
We got some top sellers in there.
we do have some top sellers. We also have some things that are going to sell out very quickly that we will not reprint, that were just tour exclusives. We have some leftover tour dates shirts as well from the tour that we just did with Whitechapel and Archspire and Signs of the Swarm. So go and check that out. That's Friday at 12 Central Standard Time. The store will go live with all of that stuff. So go and check it out. Yeah, it's good to be back.
It certainly is. Yeah, I guess we should explain why we haven't done the podcast in 2 months plus. How long has it really been?
I think it's been 2.
It's been at minimum 2.5 months.
Well, the last one that we did was Time Will Take Us All, so it was right before the album came out. It was that week.
Right. So a lot has happened since then. We've released Time Will Take Us All.
Yeah.
We did a full...
Wait, we were talking about it on the podcast for 2 years?
Yeah, we're like, this album, it's really going to be something. I'll tell you what.
Hopefully it was something.
Yeah. And then it kind of just came out, and now everybody's moved on to the next. No, it's kidding. So that happened. We did a full Europe tour. We had about a week and a half off at home, which we were sort of preparing for our U.S. tour that we just did. And now we're back. We've been home for about a week and a half.
Yeah.
Harrison came.
Yes,
the guy made it through the tour. He drove the entire tour.
Well, on the U.S. tour.
Which, yeah, he didn't drive us to Europe.
Didn't drive us to Europe.
But it's a rough job.
I mean,
we're proud of him.
We decided that we would ask Harrison when we were in Europe one night, and we hit him up, and honestly, I didn't think he would do it at all. I've told you that. Well, I didn't know, but you've since told me that you're the type of person who says yes to everything, right? So that's good to know for the future. But no, Harrison went, and, you know, a couple of days in, I mean, driving is the hardest job.
Yeah,
so he's driving a van. You have to stay up all night. You have to sleep through the day. You can't really have like the same kind of fun that everyone else on tour gets to have. You don't really get to hang out at most of the shows. You don't ever get to drink or do anything like, you know.
You're taking one for the team.
You're taking one for the team. And Harrison really took one for the team, and he made it through. About a week in, I was like, oh my God, he's not going to want to keep doing this. But you made it through. It was amazing.
And usually we just drive, but since we're doing such a long run, we're kind of like, maybe it'd be a little bit easier if Harrison did it.
Yeah. Right. So we hired crew. And
we had a merch girl.
Yeah. She did a fantastic job.
It was really great. It was really fun actually having the extra people since they were cool, Harrison and Shannon. It was like really fun. We had an awesome little crew. We had a really good time. We made a lot of jokes in the van, put it that way.
We did make a lot of jokes. That's like one of the best parts of touring to me is just hanging out and all of the crazy, funny tour jokes that happen that when you get home. Luckily, Naveen and I have this unique experience where we get home and we are still with a person that we went on tour with. So all of the jokes still apply and the stories are easy to tell because we both were there for them. But
that's true.
You know, a lot of the time when you tour and you get home, the jokes kind of go away with the tour and you only are reminded of them when you see the people that you toured with. And we have Harrison too. And Harrison, we can all like, you know, reminisce about tour. It's a really cool experience to still be around some of the people that you've toured with when you get home. So, I mean, it was so fun. And one of the things that I wanted to say right off the bat is that to any of you who came out and saw us on these tours, I want to thank you so much for really making these the most successful tours in our band's history, and like they were the most fun shows. We saw so many of you. We met a lot of you for the first time at the Nashville show. There were a bunch of Golden Lobsters there. A lot of you traveled from far away to come and hang out with the band and to be there for that show. So it was like, honestly, just mind-blowing. And it's still surreal to me how incredible the tour was. And your guys' support is like, I just really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for making these two tours ones that I really feel mark a sort of turning point in our band in a lot of ways. But yeah, it was so incredible.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Well, so many people came up, so many people hanging out with us at merch, mainly Cheney, because I'm kind of busy during the show sometimes. I couldn't go as much as I wanted. But a lot of people hanging out, buying stuff, buying shots, as we were discussing in the pre-show. But yeah, every night was just like insane for sure. And even in Europe, I mean, a lot of people rolled out who listened to the podcast or like the band.
Oh man,
pretty much every night.
Yeah, it was crazy. Just having people from literally around the world tell us that they listen to the podcast and that they know about the band. That's seriously a feeling that it's hard to describe how cool that is.
Yeah.
As people who've worked, you know, we've spent a large part of our lives doing this band. We've been in Entheos for the past 10 years. Well, wait, what year did we start the band? Okay, so it's been almost 9 years.
Really?
In December, it will be 9 years. So almost a decade of our lives.
That's
the podcast crazy. We've now been doing for 3 years, I want to say, at the end of the year. So yeah, I just don't know how to thank you guys. Yeah. It's incredible. And we had just a really good time. Like, honestly, the band, I felt like we were on fire. Like, we just playing with Rob and Brian is just so awesome.
Yeah, it's a good team.
They complement our band so well, and having Harrison and Shannon along, it was just a dream crew and a dream tour. And being in Europe with Archspire and Benighted and Psycroptic was amazing. We had so much fun hanging out on the bus and partying with those guys every night and just, you know, meeting people in Europe. It was crazy. Incredible.
Yeah, definitely.
One thing, October will be 4 years of the podcast.
4 years. Holy shit.
That's fucked up.
That's really fucked up. So I guess we spent 3 years talking about Time Will Take Us All not to.
Yeah.
That's how quickly time goes.
But it's not going to be as long for the next one. We'll tell you that much.
It's definitely not.
There won't be that much talking.
We've got some tricks up our sleeve.
There's going to be not a whole lot of talking and a lot more doing.
True that. We're kicking it into high gear.
Yeah.
But, you know, a part of the reason why we want to kick it into high gear is because we're so inspired.
Yeah.
Truly. Like, these two runs they were just really inspiring beyond anything.
I agree. So, do you want to talk about these tours in depth?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
You want to go through I was thinking we could go through the dates.
That would be awesome.
Talk about some
yeah, let's do it.
Do a recap. But first, let's do these shots.
All right, first we're going to do some shots.
All right, everybody. If you're at work or something, let's do a shot together.
If you're at work.
Yeah, if you're at work. If no one's looking.
Sorry, I can't reach over the table.
Oh, hold on. Let me get the tahini.
Yeah, while no one's looking, just sneak a shot. Or do what I was talking about before the podcast, and I was just
That's why I'm keeping the camera on you.
Sneaking shots of water. You're keeping the camera on me because you know it's going to be funny, right? God damn it.
Yeah, definitely. It's like that video I have of us shotgunning White Claws.
Harrison's already cracking up.
salt everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
You want to do some of this, Aaron?
Nah.
Do it. You don't want to do it. All right, here we go.
Cheers.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah.
Oh, is that how you do it? Wait, do I lick the salt first?
Lick salt first.
Oh. I love that everyone's watching me take this shot. Oh my god, that's why I had the camera on me the whole time. Woo! All right. Geesh Louise.
Wow.
Tequila, that'll do ya, right? So what's the deal with tequila? Is it supposed to be the healthiest liquor?
It's healthy. It's really healthy.
Yeah, it's like totally healthy. Everyone that I know who does CrossFit loves tequila.
I think it's the lowest calorie alcohol, but I actually hated tequila. Mm-hmm. And then a few nights ago, I went out here, and the people who I were with, they just bought me a shot. Didn't ask if I wanted it.
Oh, yeah.
And I took it, and I was like, that's kind of good. And then I like margaritas, so
I do love a good margarita.
Maybe I'm a fucking tequila guy now. So when we've been going out, I've been getting tequila with soda and lime.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty good.
I'm a like a vodka soda drinker.
Yeah,
I guess that's why I like White Claws. But you know what's better than a White Claw? A High Noon.
Yeah, I know.
And I thought that it was only a Southern thing because I just started drinking them in the South, but I guess they've taken over the world.
No, that's a premium
High Noons.
Sparkling beverage.
It's a little more expensive.
Yeah,
correct?
they are a little. And I've only seen them in like 4-packs. So that's the thing. That's how they get you.
They're getting me because
we've upgraded after a long time of drinking, working hard. Now we're gonna do High Noons after we drink these millions of White Claws that we have, because we had a party at the house.
We did. So after the
Nashville, we'll do the thing in the movie where you tell the ending first.
Oh, are we gonna do that?
Yeah.
So after the Nashville show, we haven't had an official like housewarming party.
Yeah.
So after the Nashville show at 1 a.m, we decided to have a party at our house.
Yep.
And we had Archspire over. We had some of the G-Lobs. We had a bunch of friends from the tour. Our crew.
Ben from Whitechapel.
Yeah.
And his wife.
Yes, and we had a bunch of our homies from the Nashville scene who were at the show. And
Mark came over for a minute.
Yep, Mark Lewis did come over for a minute. That was a legendary appearance.
Yeah,
and
so we had a legendary party at the house.
Dude,
it was super fucking fun.
It was so much fun.
But there's still a lot of alcohol left over from the party.
There is. Actually, we have
quite a lot.
Quite the collection. So we have a bunch of really nice beers.
Yep.
And neither of us have been drinking beers. Honestly, I think, so I have talked on the podcast before about like this weird lymph node thing I get when I drink alcohol, but I realized it's just from beer.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if it's the hops.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is either. But so I haven't been drinking beer. We have a really nice beer collection now, which is cool.
A bunch of beers. We've got a bunch of Smirnoff Ices. Thanks to Harrison.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Harrison.
We've got
Harrison was trying to ice everyone at our party.
I don't know if trying is the right word.
Harrison did ice everyone at our party. Every time I went into the bathroom, I was like, there's another fucking Smirnoff Ice. But I just...
Shouldn't drink it, though.
No, I'm this type of person.
What happens if you don't adhere to the being iced?
You're cursed.
The owners of the party end up with a bunch of extra ones afterwards.
Yeah, that happened at an Archspire show. The guy who like records their records brought like 1 million.
Oh, I thought
Inferi did it. Oh, Inferi
did
it. Okay.
Inferi filled Archspire's like refrigerator and all kinds of stuff with Smirnoffs. And
he was okay. I'm confused.
They all refused to drink them.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna take these, and I had like a whole box of them.
Smirnoff Ice, fun fact, that's the first thing I ever got drunk off of when I was about 16.
Yeah, that's one of the first. Well, I had a Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Oh,
so it's kind of similar.
Right.
So disgusting.
I know. It's like the most sugary beverage.
Yeah.
And also, if we were trying to get drunk, there were way quicker ways.
I know, you didn't want to drink it because it tastes bad.
Exactly. That's how you ease in to drinking.
That's how you ease into it.
So, the party was just epic. That was our housewarming party, really, I think.
Yeah. Which we were thinking we should have like a golden lobster party.
I know.
Like a barbecue or like a camping trip or something.
We're going to put this out there for a goal. I'm saying goal for 2024 is that we have like a golden lobster get together in Nashville. In Nashville.
Yeah. See if anybody would. We're throwing it out there. See if anybody would be interested in that.
I think we should write that down on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
As well. Like maybe we'll get an Airbnb and we'll just like host the party. We're not, you know, you don't have to pay, just pay to get yourself there.
Yeah.
And then Naveen and I will do the rest and we'll just have a blast. I think that would be really, really fun.
A lobster bash.
A globster blast or a bash. Oh my God. Glob blast.
A crab boil.
Yeah, we should. That would
we
be
could
fun.
Grill. We could.
Speaking of, we talked about the shirts in the pre-show, but everyone should check out these shirts that Amber Elkins had made, and she is
selling them too.
She is the G-Lob of the month
for 10 bones.
For 10 bones, you can hit her up. She's apparently making no money off of these because if she was, we would obviously sue her. We still might send her a cease and desist.
Yeah, cease and desist.
We're talking about it with our lawyer. We've lawyered up on this situation. I'm just kidding. No, Amber had these awesome shirts made, and I know she was selling them in our Discord. She brought us some. We had dinner with her over the weekend. She brought us a couple. They're amazing. It's like one of the coolest gifts of all time, ever. So I think she still has some for sale. I'm not sure, but you guys can hit her up.
In the Discord.
In the Young Discord. If you haven't joined our Discord, then you should. But yeah, so do you want to start going through those dates now?
I do. I want to go through.
Awesome.
We don't have to go through all of them. Maybe we'll just do a few per show, and then we'll switch over to the questions or something.
Yeah,
like
totally. Let's do that. So you guys are going to be hearing about this tour for the next probably 3 years.
Yeah, it's something to talk about. Yeah. Gotta find these here dates. Okay, here we go.
Well, I know the first one was Essen.
Okay, yeah. So we
should talk about the flight over.
Yeah.
Which I can't remember.
Let's think about it.
Because I'm prescribed. I have an anxiety medicine that I take on a flight. I can't.
Yeah, so the band got in, and then we practiced for 2 days.
Yeah, 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, and then Mark drove us to the airport in the van, and we flew in, and we went and stayed at a hotel near the airport.
Yeah, we did. And this airport had like the best. It was in Essen, or no, it was in Dusseldorf. Sorry.
Yeah.
So the bus. So when you go on tour in Europe, a lot of the time, the tours that we've done in Europe, you are generally sharing the bus with the other bands on the tour. So just imagine, what kind of a time that makes for 4 crazy bands on a bus together. It's pretty wild and fun. And
a lot of book reading and
just a ton of just reading books and being
steamed milk,
tea. So
I haven't actually thought about
we all call our moms every day at 8 a.m. in the morning right after we do our workout. You haven't thought about the European
Well, like we got home and then I was just like so fixated on like, okay, next tour we're leaving in a week. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, don't think about tour, just like, think about being home, think about getting ready.
Yeah.
And so honestly, like reading through the dates is actually gonna be kind of fun for me.
Totally, me too. It's been kind of a whirlwind.
It's been insane. This has been one of the craziest long runs that I've ever done.
It's the longest one I've ever done. So, Essen, this hotel. So what I was saying is that, when you're on a bus with all of these bands, generally there's like a meeting point where the bus will come and pick you up. So for us, it was outside of this hotel that we got. And it was such a nice hotel. The buffet was incredible. Do you remember that?
Yeah. But it was like $30.
It was $30. I am the only one who got it.
Nothing is free in Europe. Let's put it that way.
No.
There's no included.
No. Even the bathrooms cost money. Which
is a separate thing. I'm actually kind of for it, to be honest.
Yeah. The thing about the bathrooms costing money in Europe, it's not like the venue bathrooms cost money or anything like that. But if you stop at a
sometimes public bathrooms cost like $1 or whatever.
Totally. At a gas station or at a mall.
But they're nice AF.
They're really clean because of that. So it's not a bad trade-off, honestly. There are bathrooms in the States that I would be totally down to pay $1 for if they were just like cleaned up.
Yeah, if you're on tour, you've been driving late or whatever, you're tired, you go into a truck stop and the bathroom's really nice. You're like, this is great.
Yeah, it's like a haven.
Yeah. And on the flip side, when it's really disgusting, it's like I would have paid
It's hell.
50 cents or whatever to get in there. No problem.
Yeah,
To get into a nice one.
they're honestly, when you're on tour, it's the little things. And if you, like what you're saying, if in the middle of the night you stop at a gas station that has a bathroom that's not awesome, then it really sucks.
Well, actually, it would get old, though, if every bathroom you had to pay to get in, like after a while. I'd be like,
Yeah, no, then you have a bathroom budget.
yeah, this is whack.
Then you got to budget that in before the tour.
And that's like $100 and something, $20 minimum.
4 bathrooms a day you'd be paying for?
Well, for the band.
Oh, correct. Yeah, true.
Anyway, it's okay here and there, whatever. And
I
not a big
like
deal.
it.
So yeah, we flew into Germany.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to not be jet lagged. So Cheney, of course, went immediately to sleep.
Yes,
Did
I did.
the worst thing that you can do.
I did.
And just stayed on Tennessee time.
Yeah. The whole time, actually. I did it the entire tour.
I was like, you know what? I might have been the only one who actually powered through. And I didn't go to bed until it was like night time to go to bed.
It's so hard to do that.
Yeah, it was
so
hard.
hard.
It was hard, and I was really tired, but I just was watching German TV,
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
staying awake.
That's another thing about the
Hey,
television.
you're like sick. I'll watch TV. Oh, no. I won't.
Yeah, the television in Europe, when you get to a hotel and you turn it on and you're so stoked to watch like Chopped or Bar Rescue, and none of it's in English.
There's no bar rescue.
Yeah, there's no Bar Rescue.
It's not happening.
It's something in German that I just, I can't understand it.
So we were also quite close to the airport, and there wasn't really anywhere to eat. So me and, well, actually everybody except for you went to sleep.
Yep.
We walked back to the airport to eat.
I think you brought me something.
Yeah, and we were
To
just
eat.
eating like, European
Get
bread and cheese.
in food,
Get in
which
food.
I'm sure we'll get to.
Yeah.
So
We
should explain that. So get in food. So in Europe, when you load into the venue, there's a thing called get in, and it happens like pretty much right when you get into the venue. Obviously, that's why it's called.
It's like
get
before
in.
load in. It's just like when the bands can go, when the venue is open and you can go inside and you can take a shower and whatever, just be inside the venue.
So they will have a spread of food laid out for you, and get in food is all normally the same. It's bread and cheese and meat slices, some fruits, and then there will be like a bowl of potato chips, but it's like potato chips in individual bags. And then there's usually like a bowl of also chocolates.
Yeah. And depending on where you are, it's going to be different here and there.
Depending on where you are. There's like,
Maybe we can try to remember the get in food from each venue.
there are like some cucumbers usually.
There's usually cucumbers.
Tomatoes.
There's spreads. There's a couple
There
spreads.
are always spreads.
Yeah.
So the thing that you come to realize is that get-in food is just kind of like the food they sell everywhere in Europe.
Yeah.
Like at the airport.
It's just the food that's everywhere, literally everywhere.
So like 25 days into a tour, you get done with the tour, you've had get-in food every single day. You're kind of sick of get-in food. You get to the airport and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to have some like a bomb airport meal. I'm going to treat myself. And you get up to the counter and it's all get-in
It's like
food.
baguettes
like,
with a piece of mozzarella and tomato slice on it.
Do you have that sound clip?
I don't know. I'd have to. No.
There we go. That's not it. But it's so get-in food. So that's what Naveen got from the airport.
But I was hyped on it because I haven't been to Europe in a long time.
So day one, I was
like,
"Get-in
let's
food."
go, dude. They got fresh bread and cheese. This is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then, day 30, you're like, okay, dude, I swear to God, another
like,
baguette. I'm going to seriously.
Have eaten too much bread.
Yeah, a lot of bread.
The next baguette I see, I'm going to take a baguette and I'm going to hit someone with it.
Yeah. It's always pretty good though.
That's true.
Actually, towards the end of the tour, I was like, I just didn't care anymore. And my move was just going in and eating the baguette. I would just spread butter on it and then put Nutella on that, and that's what I would eat.
That is when you don't care anymore.
Yeah.
So you want to hear? So the last week of tour, I was doing that, except I was like opening it, putting butter on it, and then like a piece of cheese, and then some cucumbers, and then hummus.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I wasn't even going for that. That's
it
like
actually
healthy.
Sounds hella fire.
I was going. I would do butter, Nutella, and then peanut butter too.
Ooh.
It was like.
Yes, peanut butter is always included in the
And then here's
food.
another thing I would do. So I would eat that, and then I would drink like 2 glasses of milk.
Oh my God.
Because the milk there is really good.
You know, we were at the grocery store the other day. Sorry, side story. And Naveen was about to get a whole jug of milk, and I was thinking, do people drink that much milk?
I know. I wanted like a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was like, I was like, I don't think I could drink a half gallon.
At the grocery store, are they strictly making packages of food for like families of
I don't know.
5?
A quart would have been good.
Yeah.
A quart.
You just
of
need a
milk
little
would
one
have
of
been
those little.
Yeah.
Is it a quart?
A quart.
Oh,
A
yeah.
quart would have been great. I don't
8
know. There, it's
ounces.
probably like a liter or something.
Yeah. In Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do we know?
So this is gonna take a while. We're only at the airport right now.
We haven't even gotten to getting in the bus.
So the bus was to pick us up the day after we got there.
Right.
In the whatever time it was. It was in the morning 9 or something like that.
Yes.
So that night, when did you eat the buffet?
The night that we got there, I was
Oh, you woke
ravenous.
up. Here's what happened. You woke up and you didn't want the food that I brought.
That is what happened.
That's what happened.
That's
You went, I'm not eating that.
That's typical
That's what you
Cheney.
did. I brought you this food. And you went, I don't want it. I want to go eat down at the buffet. I'm like, okay, let's go check it out.
Well, I walked around
And then
I
they're
was
like,
"Look
yeah,
at this
it's
buffet."
30 euros. And I was
Which
just
is, if you guys can go put that into a euro to
It was-
USD calculator, that's very expensive.
I was like, oh my God, that's so much money. And then
I can't even remember what was in the buffet.
I do. It was like they had salmon.
Oh, right.
They had potatoes. They had some other kind of meat, I think. They had some sort of pasta thing, like little raviolis.
Oh, that was delicious.
I didn't even eat, by the way.
Naveen did not eat. He sat there
Because
with
I was
me
like,
the
I'm not
entire
spending
time.
30 euros on this. This is not happening.
Right.
Like, I'm not at that level yet.
I was at that level
Yeah.
then.
So I just chilled.
I honestly, you know
Drink
what?
water.
Well, so I ate for both me and Naveen, and then it was only about $20 a person.
I think you actually took a picture of it and sent it to my family.
I did, because I was like, look at the buffets in Europe. Ha
Yeah,
ha
yeah,
ha ha. That's what we did the entire time we were.
Yeah, in Europe,
we
look
were
at
so
this.
bad
Yeah.
about that. We were just, because we have a group chat with Naveen's family, and we were just taking pictures every day in like
I know.
Prague, like, haha, we're in Prague.
day
Have
off
fun
in-
at work.
Yeah, day off in Spain, we were at the beach all day. And we're like, it's awesome
Getting
here. And
massages and
what
just
was-
drinking.
What's funny about that is the time difference, like when we sent it. So we'd already been like partying all day.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's like 8. They're like getting ready to go to work right now.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Hey man, fuck it. Makes me feel better.
Hey, fuck it, I'm down.
I'm kidding. It doesn't make me feel better.
All right.
But it kind of does.
So that was, you know.
I hope they're not listening to this. Jeez. Okay, so yeah, Chaney had the expensive dinner, and then we went to sleep, and then we woke up in the morning. Also, everything is small in Europe, so like the elevators and the doorways and everything, and we had like all a bunch of gear. We had to load into this small hotel room. Remember that?
Yeah, sorry. I was doing what I was mad at you for doing at the beginning of the podcast. I wasn't really paying attention.
You're reading the
just
chat,
now.
aren't you?
Yeah, I was just
I'm
reading the
seriously,
Twitch
dude.
chat.
Seriously, man.
Well, because, yeah, go ahead.
Chaney got a laptop. That's the problem. Now she's just
Yeah, I need to keep it closed during the podcast.
clamshell.
So what did you just say?
Okay, so I said everything in Europe is like small. The doorways,
yes.
the beds,
The beverages,
everything is small.
the portions of food.
Yeah, it's everything is.
You know how
miniature.
everything is bigger in Texas? Everything is smaller in Europe.
Yeah, 100%. That's a fact. And then So yeah, we had to load all of our gear into this little hotel room because we had like the lights.
Oh my God, I forgot.
We had, all of our bags,
Mm-hmm.
and then, and it was 4 of us in that room.
It was, and I have a picture of Brian and Rob sleeping peacefully in that hotel room because I wanted to remember it.
Just post that in the Discord.
So I also have, I have some pictures of Brian sleeping in the van too.
Sleepy Brian.
I should start a separate part of the Discord called Sleepy Brian and Rob. But so we had to load everything up into the hotel room. I mean, not to mention, going to Europe. So of course it costs a lot of money, flights and all of that stuff, but something that we always prepare for, because we have to take a ton of gear. So you try to consolidate everything as much as you can.
We did a great job consolidating.
Oh,
too,
man.
by the way. We really packed it in.
Yeah.
So we didn't have that much stuff compared to last time.
No.
I mean, I got a case for the lights that was like, the lights just barely fit into it.
Yeah.
And then we put all of our gear into one like smaller rack unit. And what I did was I used the back on racks. Sometimes there's screws on the back as well. So it had gear on the front and back.
Holy crap.
And then we had the air tags, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool invention.
Highly recommend that for
Yeah.
anyone out there who tours, whether it's in the States, Europe, going to the venue down the street,
Get you
just
some
having
air
stuff
tags.
in front of your house. Get some air tags.
Yeah. 100%.
Because I think it was like $100 for 4 of them. And it gave me so much peace of mind knowing that we knew exactly where our stuff was at all times.
Really cool.
Yeah.
So when we were on the flight, when we landed, I'm like, oh, the gear's here.
Yeah, and that way
Sick.
you know if any of your stuff has been left at Chicago O'Hare or wherever
Or where
else.
the hell it is. Yeah.
That way you can kind of keep an eye
Like
on
when we
all
left
of
the
it.
banner in Des Moines.
Right.
I was like, well, there it is.
Yeah.
In freaking Des Moines.
Yep.
So yeah, we meet up with the bands. Or no, Psycroptic was staying at the hotel as well.
Yes.
So we saw them. And then
Benighted just drove from France. I think it was like
Yeah.
a 16-hour drive for them. It was
Yeah.
pretty far. And then Archspire flew in that morning, I think, and got directly on the bus, right?
no, they were there for like a week.
Oh, yeah. They were practicing at...
Yeah.
So there's a place called Captured Live where we all go to pick up the gear that we've rented. All of our merch gets sent there. And Archspire had been... a lot of bands just keep their gear there. They
Yeah.
have European gear rather than renting every single time that they go. It's more cost effective for them to own gear in Europe and hold it there. And Captured Live also has like practice rooms for people to go and, do their thing and get used to being in Europe, run their whole rig. Because if you have lights or a sound person or anything like that, you want to practice with all of that running. So they had been there for a while. So the bus picked us and Psycroptic up. And then we went and met up with Archspire at Captured Live. We grabbed all of our merch, made sure that everything made it. That's a whole nother...
Yeah, because you get all your stuff shipped there. So we got all the merch shipped there, the vinyl.
Yeah.
I got my cymbals that I was going to use, drum heads for the tour. I got shipped there.
So that's kind of how, people will ask, so what do? You get merch from the States shipped over to Europe? How does that work? We have a merch company, and our label, Metal Blade, has a European sect, I guess you would call it. So we just get everything sent from inland Europe. We don't deal, trying to send all of that stuff from overseas would cost us a ton of money.
Yeah,
So
be a hassle.
Generally everywhere that you go, you have that kind of thing set up where you're getting it sent from within the country or within the continent in this case.
100%.
So we met up at Captured Live, and that was the morning of the first show, and the first show was in Essen.
Then you pick your bunk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you bunk up.
Picking your bunk. That's a whole... So I like to have the bunk that's not on the ground. That's the top level bunk. So I always sprint for that one. The last bus that we were on had a ton of bunks with windows. And I had one of those. That was pretty cool. But most bunks don't have windows. Most bunks are kind of just like it's sort of like coffin-like.
Yeah. I straight up don't care. I just took a bunk that was available.
Yeah.
No big deal. Chains was above mine.
Yes. So we had bunks next to each other. I was in between. I had Todd Stern on this side, who is the bass player of Psycroptic, does merch for a lot of great bands. And then I had Ollie on this side from Archspire. And then Julian from Benighted was over here. Dom was down here. It was a pretty good little merch area that we had.
It was good.
Or not merch area, sleeping area that we had.
We had a good thing going.
The only mistake that I made is that my bunk was like one of the first ones when you come up the stairs. So if I was going to sleep, because I honestly didn't really drink or party a whole lot on that tour. And I would go.
It's pretty amazing. You went to bed a lot.
Yeah, I went to bed a lot.
Preserving the vocals.
Yeah, I was trying to preserve my vocals. You know, I don't want to lose my voice on tour or do any of that.
Certain people will stay up all night and yell, and the
yell.
next day they won't have a voice.
And sometimes fall out of their
and
bunks.
then they won't be able to perform their vocals
as fully intended.
Yeah.
Not anyone I know, but sometimes that will happen.
I've heard
to
about it
people.
happening.
I have heard about it happening.
For me, it's not a problem. It doesn't matter. I could play drums halfway dead, and it wouldn't matter. Yeah, I could get through it.
Is that true?
Yeah,
Halfway dead.
probably.
Yeah.
I would do it too. I wouldn't. I've never like missed a show because of like something bad that's happened to me. I've played with like a broken foot.
Is our table made out of wood?
It is.
Go ahead and knock on that.
I've played with a broken foot. I've played deathly ill. I've fucking played
you
with
also
a bunch
played
of
in animals?
anthill, when a red anthill stung the shit out of my foot, and I had a hobbit foot.
I remember that. I was so worried about you on that tour.
I fell down
that
some
day.
stairs one time in Animosity and like literally broke my foot. It was like the worst injury I've had.
Did you get a cast?
No.
Oh
I
my
just
God. So
had
your
a
foot?
cane. I could hardly walk.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Did you go to the doctor?
No.
Maybe that's why now your body is like shaped
It
like
might
that.
be. It
Like-
might be. It
like
was really
Naveen
bad.
is a little like off.
Yeah, I'm a little off. But
Like,
what
it's kinda like
happened was
this.
I had the bass drum in my hands and I was walking down these stairs and I thought there was like, you know how sometimes there's a staircase and then there's like one long stair at the
Are
very
there
end?
stairs? Are they stairs that I would be familiar with?
No, it's at Jerry's Pizza.
Oh, yeah, I've
in,
never been.
Bakersfield. Yeah. And I think it was the first day. It was the first day of this little tour we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Reflux was on the tour, actually.
Wow.
And I didn't know there was another stair, and just like my foot just like went like that on the last stair.
Oh
and
my
I fell
God.
and dropped the bass drum, and it was like at the end of the night, my foot was like black and blue, like I couldn't walk.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
really bad, but I still ripped it. Still played.
And then there was that the first Whitechapel tour that we did where you had gotten what happened with your tooth before?
I had a bunch of dental work done, and I think it got infected or something.
Yeah.
And it was so painful.
Yeah, you were like sometimes you were like crying because the pain was so
Yeah, it was
bad. It was
really bad.
terrible
So-
pain.
I'm
And
gonna
you
play the
still
shows
played.
no matter what. That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
I'm never going home. Fuck
That's
that.
true.
Never gonna catch me cracking.
But what started this
Just
tangent that we've
staying
been
up
on?
too late and losing your voice.
So anyways, yeah, I was going to bed early, and the one mistake that I made was getting that bunk, because when people would stay up and party and they were very loud and playing like death metal at like crazy volumes, it would
I may or may not.
I
have had
could
something
hear
to do with
it
that.
constantly. So I was like, oh my God, I had to wear headphones, and I finally just got nice earplugs and went to bed with earplugs every night. So
There you go.
I got kind of used to it. It became sort of a comfort
It was nice.
to me having
Little
those.
background
Yeah, I
noise.
had my little Scottish.
Highland cow.
It's a Highland cow, or as they say it in Glasgow, it's Highland Coo.
I don't know what it is.
Hieland Coo, I believe. I have a little Hieland Coo stuffed animal.
He's in the closet. I just saw him today.
Because when they were saying it, when they were telling me what he was, at first I thought he was a yak. I was like, do you guys have like yaks all over this country? Because I had one. And they were like, no, it's a Heelan coo. And I thought that was a different species of animal. I was like, oh, it's a Heelan coo. And then I was talking to Jared from Archspire, and he's like, oh, yeah, it's a cow. And I was like, oh, wow, okay.
Oh, yes.
So, just sleeping with my little cow and having earplugs in, that did me right on that tour. I was listening to ABBA a lot as I went to bed.
It's coming up, dude. Friday.
Yeah. Honestly, my mixtape on that was videos of ABBA, videos of A Perfect Circle and Tool and Pussifer. Honestly, I was, just watching a lot of Maynard videos on that one. But yeah, so that was my mistake in picking my bunk on this tour. And
I actually thought it was a benefit to have, because my bunk was right under yours.
Mm-hmm.
So what was cool about that is there's a little staircase that goes up to the bunk areas. On the buses in Europe, it's like 2 levels.
Yeah.
And what was cool for me is if I wanted to like put something in my bunk real quick, I wouldn't have to go up the stairs. I could just like launch it into my bunk from downstairs.
Oh, that's cool.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
That was a perk.
So, yeah, that is a perk.
But it's a high foot traffic area.
If you can throw that far.
So so we go to Captured Live.
Yeah.
I don't know. First, the bus pulls up and like breaks down.
Oh, yeah. That happened right away.
Yeah.
The bus broke down
They're like,
immediately.
yeah, guys got to come change a part or something. And we're like, just chilling
That's
outside.
when we met our bus driver, who is the best bus driver.
Yeah. Good guy.
Yeah.
And it was cold that day.
It was freezing. It was freezing a lot of the time in Europe.
It was really cold. I was so over it because, it was cold. But it was cold here too when we left.
True.
So, to be fair, it was still, what was that, winter pretty much?
Yeah, it was winter when we left. It was the end of February.
I can't believe that. That's so fucking
know.
crazy. So yeah, they fix the bus. We get on. We go to Captured Live. We get all the gear. Now, the trailer that was attached to the bus was comically small.
Oh, yes.
And it's 4 fucking bands. And we're like,
Oh, my
how
God.
the hell are we going to fit everything in here?
So we got an email like a while before the tour started, and they were like, you guys cannot bring that many boxes of merch with you. So we had to actually schedule like separate drops. So
it was so stupid.
We got one drop at Captured Live, and then every band had to do this. We got one drop at Captured Live, and then we would periodically get drops throughout the tour. So we had to rely on the mail to get our merch to every single venue, for the venue people to be there to receive our boxes.
Pay for shipping costs.
Luckily, every single box got there every single time. So that was pretty amazing.
So it was really tight in this trailer. I mean, it was, like I said, comical. We had to pack the thing completely full, and then we were putting merch underneath the bus in the like storage area that's supposed to be for bags. It was just loaded full of merch.
And then we would also take merch upstairs to where the bunks were. So in the back of the bunks, there are different layouts for different buses that you'll get. In our particular bus, it was downstairs was the like main area. There are some seats.
Sometimes there was merch in the fucking lounge.
Yeah, the lounge. Yeah, so sometimes there would be some merch in the lounge. And then there's a staircase, and you go up the staircase, and then there's a bathroom. It's kind of like a split foyer. So there's a staircase.
A landing.
At the landing.
There's
it's not a split foyer. So there's a bathroom at the landing, and then there's another small staircase up to the bunks. So then there are 23 bunks on the bus that we were on, and at the back there were a couple of seats with like a television, and those seats a lot of the time would be filled with merch.
Loaded up.
Because we didn't have a free bunk.
No, it was really bad. I mean, it was just stupid. So as we would sell merch, it would get better, but then we would get shipments, and then it would be like, oh my God, what are we going to do here?
Right.
So the first day we were like, holy shit, how is all this going to fit? This is bad.
Yeah.
And then, we made it work, obviously. It was really
I don't
tight.
really deal with that.
Yeah. No.
So I was just kind of watching all of the guys try to load all of this shit into place. I'm sure that I have a couple of videos of it. But dude, we had some real, like Robbie Brown and Todd Stern, and they were kind of the two main people who were like so good at loading, or so good at like just packing the trailer perfectly.
Yeah,
they
came
knew
through.
exactly where everything should go every single day. They were like the reason why our trailer looked so freaking good
through.
every day. They would be in the trailer and they'd be like, all right, I need this. I need the Anki case. All right, I need merch here. All right, guitar. So
like, I need the Axis pedal, my pedal. I need the Axis pedal. Give me it.
Yeah, and I don't think anything really got lost on the tour either.
I left my cymbals within the first week.
Yeah, and I think now that I think of it, not to bring it up, but I think Todd lost
his pedal case.
Yeah. Casualties.
And he was like sulking one night over it.
Well, dude,
and he was like, "That's on my record now, man."
It sucks. It sucks so bad. And we'll get to this story, but we left our banner in Des Moines on the tour that we did, and that's on our record now.
But we leave shit all the time. We don't have a clean record like Todd.
We also really made it work. We did something amazing.
We did something funny.
And we'll talk about it. But so Essen.
Okay, so we're at the first show.
Okay. 45 minutes in.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going.
Let's get through maybe 2 shows.
Well, I think that now that we've talked about this, we're probably going to skim through shows a little more. Because shows get pretty it becomes pretty monotonous. But
so Germany Essen was actually one of the best shows.
Yeah, I'm going to go out and say that was definitely my top 5 favorite shows of the tour. First of all, it was the day that we released Time Will Take Us All, which was monumental for us.
And it was really cool that we got to start a tour on the day our album came out.
Yeah, that rarely happens. Yeah. That rarely happens. We didn't plan it that way. It just so happened to be that that's when the offer for the tour, that's when the date started.
I would say that was probably one of the best shows.
Yeah, it was definitely in my top 5.
Yeah.
So God, the pit went crazy.
Yeah, good crowd reaction.
We were the first band on the tour, so sometimes you're in a place when you're the first and even the second band on the tour. I think that, once you hit this was a 4-band package. So once you're like the direct support band, it's kind of easy to get the crowd going. Like the crowd is fucking ready to
but
to
for
go.
us, it's like they just got in there. They're not drunk.
Yeah.
Maybe they're, I don't know, just got off of work.
Yeah.
Just got there.
They're kind of just warming up. We're the warm up to the night.
Yep.
So Essen just like popped off. It was crazy.
It was really
It was honestly
sick.
one of my favorite shows that I've ever played. It was just the crowd reaction was amazing. The band, I felt like we were killing it. I couldn't have wished for a better record release.
That was a Friday.
It was on a Friday. Yeah. So obviously, like, a weekend show sometimes will have a better crowd than a weekday show. It just depends.
Yeah.
So Essen was fantastic.
We sold a bunch of shit.
Yeah, it was great.
Did good that night. And another thing was that day we were still trying to figure out how we were going to take cards.
Oh my God.
This was like a huge problem on
It was
the tour.
the whole drama for the entire tour for us.
So the other bands, they like the merch company just has an account with the card reader. It's not Square there. They don't have Square. It's SumUp, this other thing. And they would just give the reader to the bands, and then they would like charge them to do that or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't know that was a thing, so we didn't do that.
Well, because...
And I was trying to get around paying them like whatever it was, like 5% or whatever.
Yeah, fee.
So I was like, fuck that. I don't want, being cheap. And I'm like, well, I'll just do my own SumUp.
Yeah.
I'll just start my own account. No problem. And then I found a electronics store walking distance. I went there and I bought the SumUp reader. And then
we thought we were so smart.
I know. I was like,
dude,
all
we were
these
like,
suckers
oh my
are
God,
paying
we're
5%. We're gonna have
Why
our
wouldn't you guys
own.
have your own SumUp? Huh?
Yeah.
You're stupid.
Yeah.
Well,
idiots.
we were the
so
joke
I'm like,
was on us.
Okay. It takes a long time to like verify your account and all this shit. So that day I'm like filling it out, and then I'm like, you know what? Let's just use PayPal.
Mm-hmm.
And then I figured out, because I'm working on the SumUp thing, and I'm like, okay, I'm adding my bank account, I'm adding the payout, the account, the, whatever, all this stuff that I have to do, my social security number, the whole thing to get verified. Takes a long time. So I do all the stuff, and they're like, cool, we'll, get back to you when you're verified. That was on a Friday, and they don't do it over the weekend.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, well, we have like, at least 2 days where we need to figure something else out.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured out that you can manually process a PayPal, a card through your PayPal account. You can punch their number in and take the payment.
Oh, God.
So I would literally fucking sit there and Cheney's selling the merch and I'm sitting there with my laptop.
We would have 2 lines.
Yeah, she'd be like, he'll take your card. And I'm like, give me the card. And I'm putting the number in and everyone's all sketched out by this for some reason.
Yeah, they didn't. Well, what we actually came to find out, someone told us this halfway through the tour that for some reason it's not like in Europe, it's not customary for Europeans to hand someone their card. They don't like handing it off.
Like Americans, that's my favorite thing to do. I'm like, there you go.
Yeah, here you go.
There you go.
But there, they want to be handling the entire transaction. Yeah. And I don't know if we explained the reason for all of this. It's because if you don't have a bank account in the country that you're in, you cannot accept money via credit card, debit card.
Spoiler alert, dude.
In other countries.
I was going to get to that.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I just wanted to explain why we had to do that.
No, I'm saying, well, okay. Well, I was saying this is the weekend, and then I was going to get to the week when we...
Oh, go ahead. Wait, the week?
No. Okay, so I set the story up. Uh-oh. The story was set up as...
This is why I'm not
we
a
were
comedian.
Waiting to hear back from SumUp to be verified.
Yes.
And in the meantime, we're taking cards over PayPal.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was leaving the audience wondering, well, what's going to happen with the SumUp? Is he going to get verified? Is he not going to get verified?
But I don't think what I said. I was just saying that when you're Americans, you can't take money. Like we can't take money in Canada.
Yeah. So ultimately, it didn't work with SumUp. So we waited like
no.
days.
I was just saying why we would need a SumUp reader.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See, I didn't.
Yeah, my bad. Anyway, now I
God
spoiled it.
damn it.
Anyway, so ultimately what ended up happening is it took days and then they're like, you're verified. And then we tried it. It didn't work. And mind you, I've been back at merch manually punching in fucking cards for a week. And they're like, it's not going to work because it only works in wherever you're from. That's the territory that you get verified for.
Oh, yeah.
So it works in the States, like this SumUp thing. Just nobody uses it.
Right.
And since we didn't have a European, we have a bank account in Europe, but we don't have a European like business ID.
Right.
So ultimately the joke was on me, but and then I think we were like, okay, let's just ask the merch company to give us the fucking card reader.
Yeah.
And we'll just pay it. But they were like, we don't have any more or something like that.
Well, no, we wanted them to sign us into their account. So we tried to...
Yeah, I was like, I already have the reader. Just add this reader
to
your account. And then that couldn't happen.
Yeah, well, it was because, this is why. Because we started the account in Germany, the account would only work in Germany. But I have no idea.
It was so fucking annoying.
It was
weird.
really annoying and complicated. It became incredibly annoying, like days where the merch booth was set up like next to the stage. Because, and people come and buy merch in between bands. So Naveen and I are like trying to hurry this. Naveen has to help tear down drums. I don't really have much to do after we get off stage. So it's easy for me.
Yeah.
To just run over there while I'm all sweaty and like, just got off stage.
Well, fortunately, I was sharing a drum kit with the guy with Benighted After.
Oh, right.
So I was able to get over there pretty quickly,
but still you had to like help load off stage or, just do whatever to get Benighted ready to play a set, get our lights off stage and do all of that. But what I was saying is just that for Americans, as an American touring band, there isn't a way for us to accept cards in other countries when we don't have a business ID in another country, a social security number in another country. Yeah. Even in Canada, we just found out about this PayPal thing, which is like a duh. But we usually just take cash.
Yeah, which is shot because nobody even uses cash anymore.
Yeah, and we have to tell people to run to ATMs, and it's just honestly, a total shit show. So if you guys do plan on going out of the country, make sure to look into some kind of reader that you can get in order to take cards, because there are certain countries we played in, which it was fine. Like toward the end of the tour, what ended up happening is that Archspire luckily had this reader that I think the insert didn't work. The chip insert didn't work for them, and they like ordered a new reader from Empiricon, our merch company.
Yeah.
So they had an extra reader. They got a new reader. We didn't have time to get a reader from Empiricon.
This was like halfway through the tour.
Yeah, it would have taken us like 10 days. So Archspire let us have the reader that was broken. So we ended up, because what happened with PayPal, not only was it annoying for Naveen to type everything in, there is a limit on how much money you can accept through PayPal each month. So we hit that limit. Of course, it's like another roadblock.
Like you can get, so you can accept as much money as you want, but it'll take a long time to, like, there's only so much they pay you out per month.
Yes.
So it like took
forever.
Yeah.
And we,
time.
When you're in Europe,
we're tight on cash. We need the money.
You're tight on cash. Yeah. Every week we have to pay the bus on a certain day. And I believe that our bus payment was like $3,000 a week.
Yeah, 2,900 euros.
Yeah, it was something. It was, it's all expensive. It's expensive to tour.
A lot, dude.
So we figured it out with the sum up reader. Luckily, Archspire had the one sitting around. We couldn't take chips, so the people who didn't have tap to pay, we would sometimes be able to do it in PayPal. Sometimes we just simply could not take a payment. Luckily, people are kind enough. They go and find cash. You don't really lose a ton of merch sales generally, but we
it was fun though, wasn't it?
It
was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, I loved it.
It's a story to tell, right?
I was like, we're in like another part of the world doing all these problems. This is so sick.
Oh yeah.
It was really fun.
Yeah, of course it's a blessing to be able to even have to care about that.
Yeah. So that's what we were doing at the first show.
Yeah, so Essen was fantastic. Second show? Where was that?
Okay, then we got we packed up, we headed to Netherlands.
Oh, so the second show was at one of the nicest venues that I would say exists for bands of our size in the world.
This venue is insanely nice.
Oh my God, it's so nice. So everyone gets their own backstage room. It's huge with your own get-in food, because a lot of the get-in food is like shared with all of the bands. They cook an incredible homemade meal. This one was vegan. It was all so delicious. What was the name of the venue?
I don't really know how to say it, but it's Dorn Ruse something.
Okay, so the
but it's
stage
really nice.
was amazing.
Yeah.
And I remember there was like an EDM show going on next door during the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I went into it before we played. I got all amped up and danced a little bit, and that was super fun.
And we walked around for a while. Went to like the little town center and stuff.
Oh yeah,
really pleasant.
We
really
had
nice.
lunch with everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all of the bands, we all went and hung out and got breakfast together.
And then that night after the show, we all went and walked around. I don't know if you remember that.
Is that where we got there was a bunch of food?
Yeah, they have like this. They have these restaurants that are, you just go in there and there's like little like windows with the food. You just like put the money in and it opens up and you just take the food. It's kind of cool. And then another really cool thing there is they have what looks like a 3-way like phone booth, but you can just pee in it. It's like a pisser. Mm-hmm. So it's like so awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
So it's like you got to pee, just pee. Like, and they're not like covered or anything. It's like drunk people just pissing. And then the cops were out and they're super nice and helpful.
Yeah.
Because I went to use the little pisser thing, and then you guys, I got like separated from the group, and I like straight up went over to the cop and I was like, "Have you seen my friends? Like they look kind of like me, like metal people." Mm-hmm. They're like, "Yeah, they went that way."
Yeah,
I
remember that.
Guys. Yeah, it was great.
But the venue is awesome. Clean, just totally clean venue, delicious
really nice.
Food.
Sounds great.
The parking, the bus, it was like in a garage.
Closed garage.
Closed garage. It was
It was really cold that day. Or it being really cold that day.
Yes. Yeah, I remember finding a shower. There was a shower that no one used, and I just got to take a really long shower. That was great. Mm-hmm. So that was a really good show.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
And I can't believe that was the second day.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. I'm looking at the dates.
What's the third day?
Belgium. Brussels.
Oh, man. Yeah. We had delicious Belgian beers that day.
We certainly
That was
did.
awesome. Oh man, we played. So
we got more merch that day too.
We got more merch. The load in that day was so. Oh my god, it was like a half a mile walk.
Yeah, it was really far.
The venue was right next to this like historic garden that had a bunch of statues and cool stuff in it. We went and got breakfast with Spencer Pruitt that day. That was awesome.
Yes, we did.
Had some Belgian beers. There were a few venues in the place that we played, and one, the first one that we walked into, it looked like a coliseum.
Yeah, and we were like, "This is so cool! I can't believe we're playing here."
Yeah, we thought it was amazing, and then the like boy band that was playing that night was the band who was playing in that room. So that show was amazing. We met a lot of cool people at that show.
Yeah, I believe so. The merch on that one, it was cool because it was out like in a corridor.
Right.
And so it was like kind of quiet out there.
Yes.
And we could talk to people, and it was a lot more space.
Yeah, because, having the merch in the show is a good thing. It does help with sales sometimes depending on where it's at, which I don't know if people think about that a lot, that merch placement is a very important thing in a venue. It really matters.
It matters.
If merch is upstairs, just for all of you listening out there, be sure to go check out the merch upstairs, because the minute we as bands walk into a venue and we're like, the merch is upstairs, oh my God.
We're going to sell half as much.
Yeah. Because a huge thing that helps drive merch sales is if the merch is placed somewhere that people can access on the way out of the venue at night.
Yeah, or by the bar. So the drunk people can go over there.
Yeah, or honestly by the bathrooms helps.
Yeah. Just anywhere where you can access it easily.
Yeah.
And that basement, so we went to a show last night here in Nashville. Mm-hmm. We went to see Converge. And that was at the Basement East, and I've gone there a few times, and I'm like, man, the merch is in such a shitty area because it's like you have to go through the crowd.
Literally.
However,
through the crowd.
We realized last night that you can go out to that deck, and the deck goes around to that side.
Oh,
yes.
So you can like future reference.
Walk around to the
you
merch.
can go around the merch and go straight to the.
Yeah.
I mean, go around the crowd and go straight to the merch.
Right. Which the Converge show that we went to last night was amazing. In my opinion, still the best hardcore band to ever do it. Jacob Bannon, one of the best front people of all time. Brutus was fantastic. I'm wearing a Brutus shirt right now. We saw a little bit of Frail Body. They were rad. But man, Converge. I'm just so inspired after seeing that set last night. They played a lot of classics. It was.
Yeah. I played like 3 or 4 songs off of Jane Doe.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. It was sick.
I thought it was a good like career spanning set.
Yeah. I knew most every song they played.
I did too.
There was a couple I wasn't familiar with.
Same. But man, that band, they're just some of the best to ever do it. And it's so inspiring to me that they've been a band for so long. They're, in their mid 40s and they're still fucking killing it. That's so inspiring that they're just still being Converged, still doing their thing. And they sounded as good as ever. They
ripped it.
They looked as good as that. They killed it as much as ever. I've only seen Converge 2 times. The last time was like maybe 5 or 6 years ago in the Atrium, the Catalyst Atrium in Santa Cruz. And this set I enjoyed a lot more.
Yeah, 100%.
But still one of my favorite bands on earth.
Yeah, I agree. I was inspired off that show, 100%.
Me too. But yeah, so what was the next day?
Then we went over to the UK.
Oh man, the UK is so fun. The UK is very US adjacent.
Yeah.
As far as just the culture, you don't necessarily, aside from the accents and everything, you're not necessarily like, oh man, I'm so far from home. There's there are a lot of similarities in just like, the way that people in the UK and Americans are.
Yeah, it's very similar. So usually you go to the UK like halfway or towards the end of a tour, mm-hmm. and this was kind of weird going straight in the beginning of the tour.
Right.
So you take a ferry to get there. So the bus the whole bus goes on this ferry, and there's like a bunch of cars and everything.
Yeah.
And you can either get off and go inside the ferry, which is like, it's kind of like it's like an airport.
Very
airport
100%.
Vibe. It's really big, and there's you can get breakfast, and you can.
But it's always like painstakingly early in the morning.
Yeah.
When you have to get off of the bus.
You gotta get off,
into
and then
the
this
ferry.
time we had to go through UK customs, so we had to
Right.
like show them our passports, and we're all tired. And
right. So we did
hungover
that.
a little bit.
Naveen and I were like some of the only people who got off of the bus and went up to the ferry. And on this particular ferry, there were a ton of like, I want to say 12 to 15-year-old kids who must have been on a school trip.
Yeah.
And they were, so when we go up to the ferry, it's like you can get a breakfast. So we got a free breakfast that day and it was delicious. We had like a British breakfast, you know, eggs and beans and a
Triangular
potato.
hash browns.
Yeah, triangular hash brown.
Love those.
So we had that.
Yeah, I love those.
We got that, and then you want to go to sleep on the ferry. You want to catch up on sleep. But it was nearly impossible to sleep on this ferry because of the kids, the school children who are running around and talking the entire time. And one, I was trying to sleep, and one like sat on my head. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
but we did get to see
annoying.
the cliffs of Dover. So there was that.
Not that impressive. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, the cliffs of California are,
It's
I want to say that they're a little more impressive than the cliffs of Dover. Beautiful nonetheless. Gorgeous view.
yeah.
So then we got off the ferry. What was the date?
That was Bristol.
Bristol was that venue where we met a golden lobster.
I don't remember if we met a golden lobster.
I think it was. Bristol was like that room where it had the bathroom that like was a bathroom for everyone and it was kind of open, right?
No, actually that was Manchester.
Oh.
Yeah. This was Bristol
Where is Bristol?
with all the poles on the ground. We went and walked around and we got like coffee. We went to a coffee shop.
No, I'm pretty sure that's the one I'm talking about.
No, you're not. The one with the girl, the DJ who was the golden
Yeah.
lobster? That's not here. That was Manchester. It looked like this
What?
on the outside. There's like an alleyway on the back.
The Fleece. Wasn't that where the party was?
No. This was, the merch was, there was that guy who had a lamb and it was like Dean's lamb's head on it. And like,
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes.
the
For
merch
some
was
reason,
like
I
close
can't
to the stage.
Oh, yeah. I totally remember that day.
Yeah.
There was a club at the front of it, right? It wasn't a club. They were doing karaoke at the front of the venue.
I don't know. Don't remember that.
Fuck, I can't. I don't know why I'm mixing up
It had
dates
all the
now. This is
polls.
going to be impossible for us to go through all the dates.
Is
there anything
Rob
else?
was like out of tune when we were playing. The merch was like, you're looking at the stage, the merch was like to the left of the stage. I don't know. This is the venue. This doesn't ring a bell.
Wow. I don't think so. Bristol. Is there anything else that happened
You can
that
like,
day?
this was, the bus was over here and you can walk
I
around
do
the
remember
corner.
the coffee.
And then you go in this door and there was the merch right there through the door.
Wow. I don't know. I wish I could see a picture of the merch area. I can't really remember that Bristol show. Bristol at the Fleece.
This place, you don't remember it? You go through this door right here and there's like the merch. It's right there.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I don't remember that particular.
Usually you remember them and I don't.
I know. I'm
So that's-
like incredibly surprised. Usually I remember the inside of every venue.
Let me
Is
see
there
if I can
anything
find
else that
anything
happened
else.
that day?
We walked around and got coffee at a coffee shop.
I remember that. But for some reason,
there was
I'm
the
thinking,
Dean Lamb guy. He had a little lamb with
I
Dean's face
totally
on
remember that guy.
it. That's the venue.
So I guess that's what happened that day. That was the funny guy. The guy with the Dean Lamb
yeah, the Dean
thing on his
Lamb
face.
guy.
Or on his, he had a little puppet. I'm starting to remember it. I feel like I just remember. Oh, it's the small place.
Yeah, it's small.
Dude, okay, totally. It had the upstairs green room.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We got coffee. So I was getting it confused. We got coffee that day at like one of the, it was like,
Okay.
it's like Starbucks adjacent.
Yeah. So this is
Yeah.
the venue.
I totally
the
remember
merch
this
was
now.
over here.
Yes, it was very hot, very sweaty. There was
Yeah.
a green room upstairs. That was a really
Yeah.
fun show. I met one of a dude who's like the roadie for God, what's the band? They usually tour with Mr. Bungle. They're like on tour with Mr. Bungle right now. Do you know who this is? Buzz.
Yeah. Melvins.
The Melvins.
Yeah.
There we go. Bada bing. Okay, I totally remember this show.
Bada boom.
Yeah, so there was a guy there who had a lamb puppet that had Dean's face on it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then, okay, the funniest joke of tour, Ollie, the guy was holding it up in the middle of the set, and Ollie was like, "See, Dean, this is what you get for having a YouTube channel." And yeah, that show was awesome. So the next day must
I
have been
think
the show that I'm
we're
thinking
gonna
about.
leave it there.
All right, let's leave it there. Have we been talking for a long time?
It's been over an hour.
Damn, okay. Little walk down memory lane. Let's go to questions. Do we have any this week?
Whoa, are you just stopping the tour stories right there?
We're gonna pick up next week.
All right, Europe
Yeah, I know, but
next
if we
week?
pick up next week, then we're not going to be doing this for like 20 weeks and we're
So
going to
what?
forget stuff.
It's stuff to talk about. You want to keep going?
Yeah, we should talk
All
about
right.
some
The
more.
next day was Glasgow, and
That-
We went from Bristol to Glasgow?
mhm.
Okay.
Dude, that
It's
was
crazy.
one of my favorite days of the entire tour.
Yeah, I loved that day. That
Glasgow,
was a
when we
great day.
started playing, I believe there were like 15 people in the venue. And then by the time we stopped playing, there were like maybe 200 people there. And Glasgow, oh my God. It was so crazy. We made awesome friends that night. I don't know if you guys have never been to Scotland. That to me is like
Colin.
Colin. We have a friend, Colin, from Scotland. If you've never been to Scotland,
The people there, dude, they're
put
the
it
sickest.
on your bucket list.
They're the sickest.
They're
man.
like the sickest, coolest, most
Yeah.
amazing people.
They're just fucking
love
down
them so much.
to earth, down to have a good time. That's for sure.
Down to have a good time.
But
The venue load-in though was up like 5
bunch
flights of
a
stairs.
lot of stairs.
That was rough.
It was intense.
That was rough.
That's the thing about the venues in Europe. They're like usually small and weird and not really built for having tons of gear, like, you know, a bunch of drum sets and rack cases come through.
Right.
So it's like, shit, it was tricky a lot of
Yeah,
the
it
time.
was tricky.
But we walked around that day. That's when you got the Highland cow.
I did get my Healing Coo,
little souvenir stuffed animal.
who I still have. I just was kissing him today.
We should grab him.
I will.
And then yeah, we
Here, I'm going to go get him.
met another thing was the tie-dye shirts that Chaney and I made. We would see kids wearing those quite a bit.
Orange ones?
Yeah. And then there was a guy there that night who had ordered one of the original ones. And so we were talking to him for a while. He's cool. And yeah, we had the merch was kind of like back by the bar on like one of the, you know how bars will have like just tables that are kind of high. So we kind of had one of those where the merch was. And then like a group of people was just hella hanging, dude, like chilling. And we were like drinking with them and stuff,
Yeah,
and
that's
just having fun. I have a bunch of pictures on my phone from that night with
Me
like just
too.
with randoms.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, they're friends now. Here's my Healing
And Shane and
Coo.
I was like, we're coming back, dude. We love
really
this.
should.
We should go back.
Honestly, I would love to go
I would
back
too.
to Scotland and just hang out and see a real Healing Coo in real life.
There you go.
So there he is. I slept with him the entire tour. He still has his price tag on. He was 20 euros.
It's kind of steep,
A little steep.
pricey
Oh.
guy.
You got a whole cow for 20 years?
Yeah.
I did. No meat. Entire cow though.
Vegan.
He's a vegan Healing Coo.
So that was Glasgow. Next night was Nottingham, which was a pretty epic night, if I might say so myself.
Was that the one?
So that's the one where the merch was in the back, and we met the Golden Lobster girl. What's her name? Was it Carrie?
No, I know her name. Fuck. It's escaping me right now. I'm so sorry. What's her DJ name? I wanted to bring it up. But the thing is, on my Instagram messages, you can only scroll back so far. It sucks.
Anyway, she
She's
was
a
really cool.
good DJ.
Yeah, she was really cool.
She was sick. I listened to her mixes. I listened to one of her mixes the night after that because you stayed and partied at there was like a dance party and I went
Yeah.
to sleep.
Yeah.
And I listened to one of her mixes. She is really sick.
Yeah, no. So what happened was they were having, after our show, they were setting up for like a DJ thing. And I'm like, oh, what are you guys setting up for? And they're like, oh, we're going to have a drum and bass show. And
Which
I was
happens
like,
a lot in
fuck
Europe.
yeah, let's go. And then that night, everyone else was like, oh, we're going to go over to this bar and da-da-da-da. And I was like, cool, I'm going back in the venue. Like, this is going to be sick because the UK has like the best drum and bass and dubstep and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, I'm going in here. It's going to be fucking sick. And so me and Rob went in and it was awesome. The music was like super sick. It was like a good vibe in there. And then like more and more people from the tour started coming in.
Oh, yeah.
And we had like a bunch of people in there. And it was really fun. We stayed up late.
Yeah, I'm sad I missed that one.
It was a good time.
So what was the next night? That was a great night.
Yeah.
That was a
I
really
feel
good
bad
one.
for not remembering
her name.
girl's
Yeah, fuck.
I hope she's not listening to this.
Well, she might be, but we will figure it out and
I
we will
know.
talk about it.
Well, she was really cool.
She was
and
awesome.
She was down.
A really sick
She was
DJ.
like, I'm a golden lobster. I was like, holy
yeah,
shit,
I know.
that's
I
amazing.
was like, oh my God, what? Across the pond? That's amazing.
Yeah, insane.
So what was the next day?
Okay, next day was Ireland.
Dublin. Oh, it was at that it was very rainy that day.
Yeah.
At a pub. We had to get on another
The
ferry.
weather
to go to Ireland.
sucked the whole time. I was pissed that day.
Except-
I was like, man, I'm so
yeah.
sick of this weather.
Yeah, I know. The weather in Ireland was
It's fucking
left a lot
cold,
to be
rainy,
desired.
shitty.
Great show nonetheless.
Yeah, that was a good show. That was
Really fun. I remember the pit going off at
Yeah.
that show.
I actually remember going live for Archspire's set on
You did.
Instagram.
Yes,
Went
you did.
live.
Yes, you did.
Like a real boomer. And then yeah, that was kind of like we had to load through a pub. It was a really
Yes.
pub vibe.
It was a straight up pub.
Yeah. And then there was like a venue kind of
In
in
the
the back,
back.
but it was still like a bigger pub. That's like
Right.
the venue. So that was really fun. The backstage was upstairs
Yes.
again. Get in food was there.
Yeah.
They don't always have get in food in the UK or in Ireland, but they did
Yeah,
this
in the
time.
UK. I also did a really sick interview that day, and the guy who was the interviewer brought me an awesome Guinness sign that I have hanging up in our library. It's a super cool gift. So that's my memento from Dublin. I really like playing Dublin. The last time that we played there, we played a place that was right across from the Jameson factory. So it was near Christmas, and we got to go have some like Christmassy Jameson drinks, and that was really fun. This time it was at
That's
a
right.
different place, and it was awesome. I believe it was Archspire's first time in Dublin. So a lot of shows on this also. We haven't even talked about it. Sold out, which was incredible.
Yeah, it was insane.
What was the next night?
Okay, so the next night was Manchester.
Manchester, which is the night.
So this was the night where
Manchester.
we had to park up the block and we had to load out through that,
that was where the
crazy
party-
was going on.
Yes.
So yeah, it was like the bus was in this parking lot up the street, and then we had to literally load everything down the street, like in the street. It was crazy. And then around the corner
Yeah.
into the venue.
Well, first we had to
And
go through.
in between those two, well, they were having like a fucking, I don't know what it was, but it was like a huge party with tons of what looked like to me like 18-year-olds trying to go in there.
Well, also, I think it was a student party, and also
'cause Rob tried to
at
go.
the front of our he tried to go.
They wouldn't let him
and they
in.
wouldn't let him in because
Yeah.
he didn't have a student ID.
Yeah.
And so we had to load out. There was also a like karaoke party happening in the front of the venue that we were playing.
Because a lot of these venues have multiple rooms.
Yeah, that's a
It's
really
not just the one, and there'll be like 3 venues.
yeah,
in
it's
there.
a really common thing.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
So yeah, the loadout that day was awful. I remember that.
I remember there being a Starbucks
Honestly,
within
don't
walking
remember the
distance,
show at
though,
all.
which was fantastic.
And I got my hair cut that day.
The show was great. I remember this was the day that we found out that Rob was in college, doing internet college.
He's like backstage, like, yeah, man, I was doing my fucking homework. We're like, what the hell are you talking about?
Like, homework?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
And then Brian's like, yeah, dude, Rob signed up for school. It's
So Brian was like, yeah, like Rob was doing his homework that day. And yeah, it was fun. That show was good.
I don't remember the show at all.
I do, because I was selling merch. That was actually the day that we implemented the 2-line rule.
2-line procedure.
The 2-line procedure, where I would give people their merch and they would move over to your line. And the merch was really close to the stage, so it was kind of
It was
rough.
like that every night.
What was the next night?
London.
London was fantastic. Well, London was a good show.
Or the vibe on the crowd was
Yeah, it was
weird.
interesting.
Yeah, the vibe bummed me out.
It wasn't as active as of a show as the first London show that we played. There's something about Underworld. Maybe it was the venues. Sometimes venues can alter vibes.
It was a really big venue.
It was really big. The crowd, I just think, was not like ready to throw down for the opening band, which is fine.
But we met a dude named Dean who
Dean
brought
is
us
fantastic.
a bottle of champagne that is a custom Entheos bottle of champagne.
Yeah, we have it. It's in our kitchen. It's sitting there as a memento. And someday we will drink it, but the day is not
We don't
come.
know when. We don't know when.
We don't know when we're saving it. Dean is an incredible dude.
Yeah,
It was
so I left
awesome
my
to meet
cymbals
him.
at that show.
Yes.
And
The
then-
other thing is, though, that even though the vibe was weird, we met a ton of fans that day.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't, I don't know. It was just maybe, I don't know.
You know what? For me, sometimes when we play shows, there'll be like one guy who just really sticks out to me.
Yeah, you like stare at them the whole set.
Yeah, and like they don't know that I can see them. You know?
Right.
But there was just this one guy, and he was tall, so he like stood up above everybody else, and he was kind of just looking at us like, you know, like, what is this fucking stupid ass band? You know, and I was looking at him just like, God, I hate this guy. I wish he would just leave. Like, why is he watching us?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, if you don't like it, then just don't watch us.
Yeah.
But he could have been a fan for all I know. I don't know. I'm just making this up in my head.
The thing is that sometimes you'll see someone like that in the crowd, and then they are the most enthused to come up and buy merch after their set.
Yeah,
so
they
you
look like they
never
hated
really
it.
know what's going through people's minds. And I think about that with me. Sometimes I might look like I'm really not enjoying someone's set, but I love it.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
you never know what people are thinking, but for sure there may be sometimes there's someone in the crowd and you're like, did you guys see that person?
This guy just bummed me out, dude. I remember talking to Dean about it from Archspire.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, you ever just like see someone in the crowd? And he's like, yeah, you just wonder like what they're thinking. Like, why don't they like the show? Like,
Or
you
like,
know,
why are they?
do I totally
do
suck?
they know that they
Yeah.
got a ticket to this show,
Yeah.
or are they at the wrong place?
I was like, this one guy he ruined the show for me.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I forgot the symbols. I did forget them, but I'm going to make an excuse. This is an excuse. Like, the gear was being put in a lot of different places. It wasn't just like all the gear's over there. So it was like, there's all these little rooms with gear in it. And I went back with my flashlight after the show, and I was doing like what's known as a dummy check. And I didn't see it. So it got left. But our friend Dean went and got it and shipped it back to the company, so it was fine. And then Kevin from Benighted was nice enough to just let me use his symbols,
Yeah.
which did help with the merch thing, because then after we played, I could just walk straight to merch.
Right.
Because to leave the whole kit
That
set.
was the thing before, is
Yeah.
that you had to take off your symbols, take your symbols
And then
off
I was
the
just
stand.
sharing the whole entire kit.
Right.
So that was a help. Then the next night was Paris,
Oh god.
that was the biggest show. That was fucking
I would
insane.
call Paris epic.
Yeah, it was epic. It was
It was
insane.
absolutely epic. There were so many people at that show. The crowd went off. It was
a
very
really-
hard to get through the crowd, so I
Yeah.
kind of just stayed at merch the entire time. The backstage was incredible.
It was a good time.
God, that crowd was just fantastic. We played at the Moulin Rouge. So it's
Yeah.
well, it wasn't the exact Moulin Rouge because we went to the Moulin Rouge Club the first time that we visited
Yeah.
Paris together about 10 years ago, but it was next door. I got a crepe that day. That was
As
a good,
one does.
as one does when you're in Paris. Oui, Paris. So yeah, that was a really fun day.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say, the merch area, so the merch was all like in front of this illuminated like purple wall of lights. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I did.
So it was really hard to see the merch, and all of us who were doing merch had to stare at it all day. So my eyes by the end of the day were super fatigued because of that wall. Other than that, epic Paris show.
It was great. The next day was Leon. Do you remember that? It was at this place.
Yeah, it's the place where Julian, their family came.
Yeah, and
Yes.
we did laundry, and we got
Yes.
those little cookies.
Oh, we got a ton of. There was a what are they called?
I don't know.
Delicate.
A pastry
No,
shop.
it's a pastry shop. Yeah. Patisserie, something like that.
We suck.
Yeah. So patisserie, oui.
Yeah.
So it
And
was down the street.
That show was cool though. It was like a smaller venue,
Oh,
and
dude,
it was
it was
really
awesome.
packed, and it was a fucking good
That
time.
was so rad. It was down the street from this pastry shop, so we got a bunch of awesome pastries to eat that day.
Sure did.
That was awesome. Did laundry, which is a fucking highlight of any tour that you're on.
Mm-hmm.
What was the next night?
Okay, the next night was Spain.
Oh, we also had a bunch of good French cheeses that night because it was someone's girlfriend from Benighted came to the show that night
Yeah.
and brought a bunch of really good cheese and wine. So
Yep.
we had a great cheese and wine party after the show that night in the bus. And that was a lot of fun. That honestly, that's one of the most fun parts of being on a tour like that is after the show when all the bands, like everyone's starving, we all want to sit downstairs in the lounge and eat, and we all kind of just shoot the shit and hang out and get to know each other. And
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun bonding over cheese and wine.
It was basically like they turned the bus area into a giant charcuterie board.
100%. That's exactly what happened. It
So
was incredible.
Amazing. The next day was that was our first Spain show in Madrid, and it was like that real nightclub vibe place.
Yeah, but there was a day off before that.
No, I think it was the day after that.
No, Barcelona. There was a day off before Madrid, so
Okay.
we had a day off in Barcelona, and then we
Okay.
went. So the day off was like the best day off I've ever had.
Yeah, because we went to day off in Barcelona, and then we went to Madrid, and then we played a show the next day in Barcelona.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So the day off in Barcelona, all of us. It was us, Todd from Psycroptic, a bunch of the dudes from Archspire. We all like went to the beach.
So the
And
bus was just like, we're dropping you guys off. It's noon.
yeah,
We'll pick you up at midnight.
Right.
You got the day here. Just do whatever you want.
yeah,
And yeah, so we're like, well, let's go to the fucking beach.
yeah.
And we were ripping it, dude. No bullshit. Like when we first woke up, like we were drinking coffee, and I was like, there was Bailey's on the bus, and I was like, let's put this in the coffee. Let's
Yep.
just rip it today. Fuck
We
it.
ripped it right away.
Yeah, and we were like, went to the beach. It was so fun. It was
Well, the thing about the
Epic
beach
day.
in Barcelona is that they'll have a bunch of people walking around to sell you drinks, to give you a massage, to
Yeah.
sell blankets. So we had no beach blanket. So I think Brian bought us this huge blanket, or I did. Someone did. So we got this huge blanket, and all of us just sat down, and we got like a case of beer. And then we
Yep.
also...
they sell beers. They'll be like, we'll give you
Yeah.
the whole case for 12 euros or
Yeah,
whatever.
we got a whole case of beer, and we got a bunch of like drinks, which it's a bunch of bottles that they fill with water, and it's got like a little
Yeah, it's
alcohol in
like
it. It's a total ripoff, but
scam.
we didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So we were drinking those drinks, and then there are people walking around who give massages. So, I love a massage. So I was like, get over here and give me a massage. So I got a hella long massage on the beach towel, and we just kind of drank and hung out all day at the beach. And then after that, we packed up and went and got dinner with all the guys. And I mean, that was like one of the most fun days I've ever had on tour ever.
Yeah, it was
I'll
really
never forget that day.
unforgettable.
The next day we played Madrid.
Yep. And that was this place was like an old school, like disco vibe club.
Oh, yes.
I think, Harrison, why don't you look this place up?
It was
It's called,
I don't have the extra monitor. I can't.
it was under...
really? Whack.
It was
Oh, yeah. Your computer's not hooked up? Damn.
It was under
right, next week, anyway.
like roadway. It was under a roadway, so we had to like load. The load in and out was crazy. It was like at least 2 blocks that we had to walk under, like downstairs and under a roadway, and like just through this tunnel area into the club.
Yeah.
So that was pretty gnarly, but the show was awesome.
Yeah, it turned out to be really cool.
Yeah.
But it was like the stage was kind of like open, like in the center almost.
Yeah, it was like a DJ
yeah,
would play there.
Yeah. But they block. Imagine like the stage is here, and then it's about 3/4 away through the room, and then you could walk all the way around it.
Right. They had to build out the stage as well. When we got there, it was it wasn't big enough to fit a drum kit on, and then they built out the stage. And
then they blocked off the area behind the stage for the bands to like hang out.
Yeah. Another thing we had to do that day, because I believe the bus payment was due that day, and we had a bunch of different currencies. And we had to exchange them. Yeah, we had to go exchange them because you have to pay for the bus in euros, and not every currency we had was euros. We had pounds and all kinds of other stuff. So Naveen and I had to walk like a few miles, maybe 2 miles to get to a place where we could exchange money. And that was cool because we got to see a bit of Madrid. We even went shopping that day. I got the pants that I have on that day.
Did you really?
Yes.
Imports.
I have European import.
I remember that. I didn't get anything.
Yeah, it's called, what's it called? Bershka?
Yeah, Bershka.
God, I love that store.
Yeah, it's a cool store.
It's awesome. I have some awesome sweats from there as well.
And then
the next day was Barcelona.
Yep.
Which I don't know why. I can't really remember the Barcelona show.
Okay.
Maybe because I just remember the day in Barcelona so well.
Yeah, I know. What I do is I just look up the venue, and then I'm like, oh, that place.
But yeah, that was sick. Are you looking it up?
I am, yeah, sure am.
Cool.
And I still don't remember it.
Let me see. Let me see it.
Okay, I remember this place. Yeah. The merch was up here on that little spot up there.
Oh, yeah, totally remember that. Yes. We walked around that night.
And what did we do that day?
Because I don't remember. I think I wanted chapstick or something. Dude, there is also a video that I saw circulating on the internet that is someone in an apartment taking a video of our bus that day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know why.
Well, I'm trying to think about what that place looks like on the outside.
The place was like upstairs. There was a green room. It was like up the stairs at the front of the venue. There was a dog there. Also, you and we could sit, because from where merch was, we could see the stage really well. So we were like sitting on the stage, and people kept buying us drinks from the bar and handing them up to us at merch. So that was pretty
and
fun.
I have a really hilarious video of a guy watching Archspire, and he's like, and I like zoomed in on his face.
That actually,
and I was like, Dean, dude, look at this fan of your guys's, and he was just like.
That actually reminds me, I forgot to talk about at the London show that I have a video of a man eating a Snickers bar front row, or like in the first 2 rows, like close to the pit.
Yeah, and there was another night where a guy rolled up to the front, like during our set, and was eating like a sandwich. And I was like, fucking god damn it, dude, this guy's fucking my vibe up, dude. Yeah. Like,
they love eating.
Why are you eating a fucking sandwich right here?
Hey, I'm down, dude. Sometimes I want to eat a sandwich in a crowd, but I'm afraid that I will have bad breath after.
There you go. This guy was not afraid of that.
This guy was not afraid of it. So, a hero, as far as I'm concerned.
An all-out legend.
So what was the next night?
You want to power through all these dates, huh?
How many more dates are left?
There's a lot left.
Maybe we can stop.
Okay.
Maybe we should take some questions. Are there any?
There's a couple questions.
All right.
A lot of them are about tour. First one's from Double Plate 76. Mm-hmm. Best thing you got to eat overseas?
Best thing we got to eat.
Well, we haven't gotten to it yet, but the Austrian venue, is it Austria? I can never remember, but it's the venue where last time they had Wild Boar. This time they did not have that. Last time we played in the basement of the venue. This time we played upstairs.
Oh, yeah. They had like spatzel and stuff like that.
They always make fantastic homemade food.
Yeah.
So between that and the venue that I was talking about earlier.
So they had like, this place had, like they had a meat option for people who ate meat. And then the vegetarian was like, it was something, the food was kind of weird that night.
Yeah, but it was delicious.
It was good. But they did have spatzel.
Yeah.
With like gravy on it.
Spatzel is so...
and if you don't know what spatzel is, it's like a free-formed noodle.
Yeah.
And
spatzel
really
is
good.
So good.
Yeah, it's really good. That was really good. We ate The food at the vegan food was actually pretty good.
That was amazing.
Yeah, it was interesting. It
Yeah.
was like, it wasn't any like fake meat or any of that kind of stuff. It was just like different like vegetable dishes, which was actually pretty good.
Right.
I'm not gonna say it's the best thing we had, obviously, but
I also ate at an Italian restaurant that was right across from the venue that we played in London. That was delicious. Honestly, what I think is the best stuff that buffet that I got the first night was impeccable. So what I think is the best food, because venues feed you a lot when you're overseas, so we don't always go and like venture out and get food. I do. Doner is kind of at the top of the list. When you get doner kebab, you're always in Berlin. We ventured out for that. There's a place called Mustafa's that's a really famous doner kebab spot that Naveen and I Ubered to, but the line I think was like 2 hours long.
We were like, we can't go here.
But we did go there. We stayed at a hostel that Mustafa's sits right outside of, and when we went to Berlin in like 2011, and that was just us visiting and not touring, so we kind of had the time to sit in a line that long to try the food. And I will say Mustafa's is the best doner kebab I've ever had.
And that's like Middle Eastern food, for those of you who don't know what that is.
Right. It's like, so if you see like meat that's on kind of like a spindle.
Yeah, and they shave it off.
They shave it. That's a doner kebab.
I'd say those places are my favorite thing to eat in Europe.
Oh, it's just out of this world delicious.
Really good.
But like I said, venues feed us a lot. So I always enjoy when venues make homemade food and give us something that's like from the country that we're in. It's like customary food from that region of the world. It's always cool. Like Spatzel. It's always cool to be able to.
It's a German thing.
Yeah, but is that Austria?
Oh yeah, that's close enough.
Yeah, so it's always cool to be able to try that, food from where you're from or where you're at. Mm-hmm. So that's my favorite food.
Yeah, we had that. We had a lot of good Middle Eastern food.
Yep.
We had Turkish coffee one day. Went to a Turkish coffee spot.
Oh, where was that?
Which was awesome. That was in Slovakia.
Slovakia. That's a part that we haven't even gotten to yet. How cool it is to visit Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
That when you're in Slovakia and Poland and countries like that, that's when you're really like, holy shit, I'm nowhere close to home right now. This is crazy.
This is out there.
Yeah,
man.
that's when it really. But I guess I'm kind of touching on the Poland show, but a really cool thing about the show that we played in Poland was that buildings would look like run down. Like there was a hostel across from where our venue was, where we got to go and take showers and get ready. And the hostel from outside looked totally run down. When you got inside, it was completely remodeled and just gorgeous inside. So it was totally like you did not expect it to look as crazy and insanely amazing as it did inside. And that was a cool, like, hidden aspect of Poland. Being in Poland, honestly, it was just such a cool experience.
Yeah, it was really cool. Far from home.
Very far from home.
Narlo Slamtana asks, was there any particular song that consistently got the same response each/most nights?
From us?
It's probably the end of Sinking Sun.
Yeah, Sinking Sun does well live.
Like the breakdown at the end.
Yeah.
Did really well.
Yeah. That whole song does really well live.
We didn't play I Am the Void.
No,
which
we
in
didn't.
hindsight, we should have just went
We
ahead
really
and played
should
it.
have. I think that my thought behind it was, we're doing like this is kind of a super tech tour.
Yeah.
Maybe don't bust out but why?
Why? Yeah.
I don't think
Just
that
play
it actually matters.
Doesn't matter.
I think that what actually matters is that you craft a cool set that represents your band. And I Am the Void definitely is a representation of our band. So in hindsight, we should have played that song.
I think so.
And we, like in the States, I think I Am the Void went over incredibly well every night. And we played that into Darkest Day, which after I Am the Void, the dynamic shift, I think we've come to realize is really important for us to have in a set because, the dynamic shift of people being able to like kind of watch I Am the Void and vibe out to I Am the Void, and then you hit hard with Darkest Day. It's a cool people go crazy when Darkest Day hits. So it was super cool. But yeah, Sinking Sun for sure.
What was your set list in Europe?
It was everything the same, except for instead of I'm the Void, we played Chemical Flashbacks.
So that the audience doesn't know what that is.
Oh, so it was Chemical Flashbacks, Remember You're a Dust, Absolute Zero, In Purgatory, Darkest Day, Sinking Sun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do you want questions just about tour or just anything?
Or no, are there Discord questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're down to answer anything.
All right. Demoing Life asks, have you guys ever had a period in your musical careers where you spent too long finishing music?
Yeah. All the time.
Time will take us all.
There's like songs I
No.
feel like that get done really quickly, and then there's ones that just like linger forever.
Very true. Remember Your Dust we wrote in like a day.
Yeah.
I Am
And
the
then-
Void we wrote in a weekend.
Pretty quick. The songs that are good usually happen fast.
That's so true. So true.
Friday the 13th asks, could you describe / talk about working with SiriusXM on the Liquid Metal concert series and the channel takeover?
Oh yeah. So Jose Menken had our song I Am the Void and Absolute Zero were both in Liquid Metal's Devil's Dozen, which on SiriusXM. So if you guys don't listen to SiriusXM or know what the Devil's Dozen is, it's like the main metal channel on SiriusXM. And so we were in the top 12 or whatever with both of those songs for quite a few weeks, and Jose was kind enough to reach out and ask us to be a part of the virtual concert series. And really it was very simple. He just asked us to be a part of it. We said yes. And you know, that included, I did an interview with him, which I thought was awesome because I got to talk about, you know, stuff that's first of all, I got to play bands on Liquid Metal, which was so fucking cool to be able to play some music that I enjoy. And you know, I played Archspire in Whitechapel. We were on tour with them. And so he reached out and asked us to do it, and we shot the video ourselves. Naveen, you know, is kind of the dude behind all of the...
Yeah, so we actually posted it today, and we shot that right before, like the day before we left for the Whitechapel tour, and I just took all the footage like on a hard drive, and then because the deadline was during tour, and then one night in a hotel, I like stayed up super late and just fucking edited the whole thing and mixed it all.
Yeah, I
in,
fell
like,
asleep.
Earbuds.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's shocking that it sounds okay because I like literally mixed it in these earbuds.
Yeah, so we just turned that into them, and they put it up on the channel. I mean, there's not much more to it than that.
But it was really fun, and
there also is a video. So we also shot in Purgatory for that. All that they have posted are the two songs are Absolute Zero and I Am the Void, but there is an In Purgatory video that I'm assuming we will probably end up posting on our own channel eventually, or
if they don't want it.
Yeah. So I don't know. Overall, it was just an awesome experience, and we are very grateful because so many people came up to us on the Whitechapel tour that we just did, the Valley tour, and told us that they heard about us from that.
Yeah.
From being on SiriusXM and from the interview that I did with Jose. And yeah, I mean, dude, Jose Menken is truly helping a lot of bands from the underground become bands that people know about. And I have all the respect in the world for him. I think it's amazing for him to reach out to bands like us and ask us to be a part of things like that.
Especially because we're like a weird band.
Yeah, we're a weird
we're not your
band.
typical
We're not like a radio
generic band or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So it was truly awesome. Truly awesome and unexpected, and yeah, man, awesome experience. It was so fun shooting that too.
Yeah,
we
really
actually
fun.
shot that on the break in between Europe and the America tour, and I felt like we were like in the pocket. We were just kind of like,
we had been on tour for 30 days.
we had been on tour. We were ready to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a fun
was
time.
great.
We didn't we only shot those once. You're not hearing any edits. There's no like, it's
live.
It's 2 live takes of us playing the song. That is what we sound like live.
Yep.
So it was a lot of fun. But one thing that we did have to do, because in our studio, Naveen's cymbals bounce off of the walls, and Naveen plays very hard. He hits very hard. So my microphone will pick up his cymbals, and it becomes a total nightmare for me in my in-ears. So we had to buy like a
church screen
screen. We'll call it that, a church screen, but it's like a plexiglass.
Yeah, and that did help. It's still not perfect. Like if you listen to the mix, your vocal mic has a shitload of cymbals in it. It sucks.
But to be honest with you, if we did not have that, there is no way that my vocals would have come through.
It's unacceptable.
Yeah, it's unacceptable. So it totally changed the game for us with that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to shoot. It was just took us probably
not long at all.
20 minutes to do, and it came out great.
A little longer. 20 minutes. Well, the setup is a lot longer. Setup took all day, and then to actually shoot it 20 minutes.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, Harrison? Let's see if there's
we got one last question.
Yes.
Not a drunk ass. What made you want to change Chemical Flashbacks?
Like rewrite the song.
And you like update.
Yeah, the redo.
Yeah.
Because not enjoying the original one, I think.
Yeah, we're kind of just having fun with it, honestly.
Yeah.
And like we felt like I felt like that part in the middle was just kind of like stupid, and I was like, why don't we just like put like a little breakdown type thing in there, and I think like honestly the beat that I do in the beginning in the remake is like the original beat that I wanted, but I like didn't know how to do doubles yet, and I couldn't really do double bass for that long. So I was like, I made up that like alternate beat. So I kind of think it just sounds cool as an alternate version.
I do too. We've never actually like uploaded it to.
I just did the playthrough. If you want to, if you haven't heard that, there's a playthrough for the song on my YouTube.
Yeah.
Where I play the updated version.
Yeah,
But it's basically the same. It just has one part changed.
Well, at the beginning it changed. It's changed too.
The beat is changed.
Yeah, the beat is
the drum
changed.
beat's different in the beginning, and then there's like a breakdown instead of that like ding 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 part.
The vocal pattern has changed just a slight bit. Honestly, we just wanted to make the song something that we wanted to play live, and even still, I think I've talked about my feelings towards Primal before. I don't really want to play songs off of.
Jenny's not Primal.
I'm not Primal anymore. I've just kind of moved on. And if we were to play the songs off of it, I would want to rewrite every song. So.
Well, we rewrote them, and it's called "Time Will Take Us All."
Yeah. We rewrote them. We completely rewrote them, reconstructed them. We even wrote new.
We're already tired of our new album.
They're new
Straight
lyrics.
up, I'm over it, man.
No, I love our new album.
I think it's sick. I'm tired of playing it. How about that?
I'm ready to record some new stuff,
else.
which is what we're gonna be doing this summer. So yeah, that's just what happens. I think that's why you shouldn't work on things for too long.
Yeah,
because then you'll end up changing the version a million times, and you'll never put it out because you're not going to be as happy with something that you wrote a year ago. It's never going to end up like that. So that's why I think that it's it works in your favor to kind of just write things and then put them out.
Don't overthink it, man.
Someone's going to like it. I'm sure people like Primal.
Yeah. But I do like our new album. Obviously, I love it. It's our best album. It's one of my favorite things I've ever done. But,
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, dude, I'm not saying that we'll never play tracks from Primal again, but I think that as an artist, that is the artistic condition is that you are going to work on something and you're not going to be as stoked on it 5 years, 8 years. It's been like I said, almost 9 years since we wrote Primal. Of course I will listen to Primal and be like, there are so many things I could have done better on that. Yeah. And so
you could have done a lot better on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? That's like just a part of like being an artist and going on with life. I think that if you talk to literally any band, literally any artist, they'll be like, they're over it. They're over it. So, yeah. All right. You want to wrap it up? It's been a long one.
Yeah. I'm I want to fire up the grill.
Oh, so you don't even want to do a post show?
Well, no, we'll pop into the post show real quick.
All right, cool.
We
Well,
have to pop in.
it's been a good week back.
Yeah.
Great to hear
And
from
we
you guys.
have missed doing the podcast,
Yeah, we
missed
have.
interacting with you guys.
Yeah, we really have. So remember, we're here every Tuesday on Twitch.
We will be
unless
back.
we have a guest who can't be here on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys next week. Love you all.
See you next
Have
week.
a good week.
Peace.